Welcome to Santos Brothers Eats.
Food worth mentioning. So should we just get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So welcome back, everyone, to Santos Brothers Eats. I'm here with my brother, Chef Jeff, and of course, I'm Kenny Santos, his brother, and we're going to be talking about this week food worth mentioning. And last week we talked about the Street Eats Market and how they're doing different festivals, and this last weekend was the Filipino Festival. And as you guys all know, Jeff and I are Filipino.
And I'm kind of jealous. Myself and Diana, we did some outdoor adventures, but Ken was able to go to the Filipino Festival. And so tell us all about it, Ken.
So I ended up going to the Filipino festivals, and there was a lot of great food trucks that were there, and it was pretty popular. If you remember last week, Jeff, I told you the longest lineup in the place was iHalo Krunch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then followed by, I think it was Stacks or
yeah, OG Stacks.
And then of course Fugo had a huge lineup too.
Right.
Now maybe it's when I got there, no one was in a dessert mood, but there was zero lineup at iHalo Krunch.
Wow.
And I thought, well, I wasn't here to get charcoal ice cream, but I said I'm going to get it one of these days.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I might as well get it now, and then I could enjoy that while I'm in line to get some, some hot food.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I was looking at the different menu over at iHalo Krunch, I also noticed that Fugo didn't have a line. And I know I said this last week. I know I said Fugo makes really good ice cream last week, but if you ever have the opportunity to have Fugo and you don't have to go into a lineup, I advise you to really take that up. I'd really advise you to take that opportunity. Of course, I am not getting paid. Fugo doesn't know who I am.
No, that's right.
And I will say this. If you go to Fugo and you don't like it and I'm there, I'll eat it for you.
Yes,
that's all I can
exactly
say.
right.
I'll eat it for it. But it was the s'mores cone that we had at their brick and mortar. That thing is absolutely incredible. And that is perhaps, actually, I'm going to say this now, it's probably the best ice cream I've ever had.
Yes, I agree too. It's just the addition of the marshmallow cream or fluff, as they call it, or maybe just marshmallows, and then they put a blowtorch to it. Burnt marshmallow or just roasted marshmallow is a taste upon itself. And that's a good addition.
And we've all had that flavor, like kind of around a campfire, or we've had s'mores or whatever like that. But for some reason, Fugo seems to do it very, very well. There's other stuff on their menu. I'm sure it's awesome. I've never had it. I've had that s'mores ice cream. And I was thinking to myself, if I'm hungry enough, I'm going to go to Fugo afterwards. I never ended up there this past weekend because I wanted to try the iHalo Krunch.
Right.
Fugo, spectacular ice cream. So iHalo Krunch, they have all these different flavors. I ended up taking the, of course, I wanted to try the charcoal because that's what we're there for. And I had that swirled with the ube. So it was a nice pink and black swirl. And actually their cone is black too. I think it's charcoal or something, that cone.
Oh, nice.
So it actually looks really good. You're going to see the pictures on the Instagram. I'll send those pictures to Jeff and he'll post those up. And first of all, I will say that when you read the description for the iHalo Krunch, it's the charcoal ice cream. They said there's some faint accents of coconut. You could really taste that in there.
Okay.
And then as far as the charcoal goes, I was really expecting it to taste like I don't know, like coal. But it's different than that. It's more like a nutty kind of, like almost like burnt toast, but not bitter.
Oh, all right.
It's a really pleasant flavor. So when I say burnt, like not burnt, like it tastes bitter, burnt toast, but it's like that nuttiness, like that baked kind of feeling.
So they're just that before burnt toast. You got to catch it just in time.
Yeah.
The toast is a bit dark, but then if you get it at the right time, it's just like, okay, there it is.
Yeah, it's kind of there. And so that mixed in with a coconut, it almost tasted like a toasted coconut. It was really good. And then that mixed in with the ube ice cream. And as far as ube ice cream goes, is that I'm not a big fan of ube ice cream. I don't hate it, but it's just Like if I could have another choice, I'll probably choose something else. How would you describe ube ice cream for someone who hasn't tried it before, Jeff?
Well, okay, so just like everyone know, ube itself is purple yam. So basically a purple sweet potato, or purple yam. So potatoes in general just start to have that earthy flavor. And the ube just makes it just a bit more sweeter, like not overly sweet, but just gives it a hint of sweetness to it. So that's why a lot of Filipinos and other cultures use ube more in desserts than in savory food, plus the color itself. So yeah, just think about a nice earthy sweet flavor. That's how I would describe ube.
Now, Jeff, have you ever had like a sweet potato pie?
To be honest, I don't think I ever really had. Now, I know you were in the States in Utah. Now, are you talking about the traditional sweet potato pie with the marshmallows?
No, that's just sweet potatoes. It's like sweet potato pie. I think that's Eastern, and I think it's actually an actual pie.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you had the sweet? And that's my second question. Have you had like I suppose the American Thanksgiving sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top? Have you had that?
Haven't.
Okay, so for those of you that have had that, I want you to think it's kind of like that. It's like the same consistency, but cold, but obviously without the marshmallows, but that's what I think of when I think of ube ice cream. Did I lose you, Jeff?
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
No.
I lost you.
Yeah, I'm here. No, yeah. I was just trying to think. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I was trying to put it together. It's a little bit smoother because I'm guessing there's some dairy in there, but it was a good ice cream. It actually those two mixed in together. There was another choice for the pandan and all these different. I think there was 4 flavors they had. They had the ube, they had the pandan, they had the charcoal, and they had vanilla. And between all 4 of those, there was different flavors. Like they would mix 3 or 2 or just the 1 or whatever. And so there's probably about 10 cones available between those 4 flavors. The cone, it tastes different. It tasted like because it's that charcoal cone. Like I remember eating the cone thinking it really tastes
you're
good.
right.
And I was very impressed because I was not expecting the cone to taste like anything. Like you think, oh yeah, it's like a waffle cone or something, but it just tasted a little extra. So if you have a chance to try that iHalo Krunch, it's certainly worth it. I'll give that ice cream. I mean, there's, it's not the type of ice cream that you'd want to put caramel on or fruit on or anything. It's just the kind of ice cream that you just kind of want on its own. So there's no toppings needed. It just kind of toppings would drown out. The flavors are kind of delicate there. Probably give it a solid 7.5 and 8. I mean, it's a good ice cream.
Nice.
It's a very good ice cream to have.
Okay.
So, and then I went to the food portion. Well, that was like kind of the dessert portion. I had the dessert portion next and then I had the food portion next. And it was a place called. It's actually called The Place to Be, MB, The Place to Be. Mm-hmm. And I was just asking Jeff about that earlier. What can you tell us about The Place to Be, Jeff? I know it's Bathurst and something. Right?
Yeah, so it's on Bathurst and Kiel area, which in Toronto is like Little Manila or the Filipino area of Toronto. And MB means music box. So it's music box, The Place to Be. And I'm reading on their Facebook page that they started up in 2015. And they're Toronto's first Filipino comedy bar and lounge. I've never been inside, but I have a few friends that have gone in. And they do have karaoke nights and dancing. And they sort of combine the two. I'm not too sure if they have karaoke rooms or not. But given that this is a all Filipino place, or mostly Filipino, I'm expecting that most of the songs would be in Tagalog. And of course, there should be a huge selection of English songs as well. But yeah, the friends I've gone, they go there for both the dancing, the music, and the food. From what I hear, the food there is also spectacular as well. It's a good treat. I believe they do lechon like right outside, either in the parking lot or on the side of the establishment. And Ken was just talking before this podcast started and said that he likes the food, so we'll one day do a trip back to the actual place and try their food at that time.
We should. Like I had no idea. I've never heard of this place before. I think you sent me a link to this place. Say, hey, this is one of the trucks that are going to be there. And I looked at it saying, what is this place? Music.
Yeah.
Place. Like, why are they even there? what are they doing? But I looked at their menu, and they had 2 chalkboards up, and one side of the chalkboard was just called All Day Silog. So,
Nice.
And I'll remind you guys, those of you that have listened to us talk about top silog before, that's essentially our favorite breakfast. And when I saw All Day Silog, I was like, ooh, I got to try this place. So I, went into line, and I was deciding what to eat, and they were really good to their people in the line. They would. There was a girl that came and handed us a menu, which was good.
Oh, good.
And with the menu, she asked us if we wanted a piece of chicharron.
Oh.
And Jeff, tell them what chicharron is.
Chicharron is basically pork rinds.
Yeah.
To our non-Filipino listeners, that's basically what it is. It's pork rinds, deep fried pork skin. That's it. Yeah. Now, did they offer flavored ones or just regular? As far as you could tell, they just offered chicharron. So
no, this thing was flavored.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask her what flavor it was, but she was already down the line, and I felt like if I went to go get her, I'd lose my spot in line.
Yeah.
And it was very probably the best chicharron I've ever had in my life. It was so good. And this was from a bag. So this is like a bag of Doritos. This is not fresh that they made it right there.
Okay.
This is flavored. But the flavor they had on it was caked on. It was so generous.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just a little bit. It was generous. It was really good.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, I'm probably going to get a bag when I leave.
Okay.
When I order. So I was looking at the menu, and you'll actually see, I actually took a picture of the menu, and I wanted some of the barbecue. And when Filipinos say barbecue, it's like the skewer. Pork, beef, or chicken. Usually it's pork. And, Jeff will remember this, and I remember this, kind of like whenever we go to, Filipino barbecues, there's always a ton of these. We call it barbecue. I mean, that's just what it's called. Would you like some barbecue? And it's sweet. And I remember we made it once at the house with Mom. Yeah. And we figured out why it was sweet is because they marinate it, among other things, in either ginger ale or Sprite. You remember that?
Correct.
Jeff? So
I remember watching one of the food channel shows, and they were showcasing a Filipino either food truck or restaurant, and the guy was doing this marinade for the barbecue or the skewers, and then in the distance or just on the counter you see a green bottle. The label was torn off because of trademark rights. Yeah, but it's either Sprite, 7-Up, or ginger ale. And you knew right away.
I love it. Yeah.
And you know right. Oh, yeah, that's part of the marinade. And that's what Filipinos use to marinate. That's why it's so sweet.
And it's so good. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have one of those, and I want some sort of tapsilog, whether it's tapa or whatever. Yeah. And then they had sisig, and then on the menu it said sisig wrap or something. Yeah, sisig sa wrap. So I just thought, it's like I just walk and eat this thing, right?
Right.
And so now when I was looking at the menu, I thought, okay, I know what I'm having. Okay. Or I think I know what I'm having. And the chalkboard was a little bit different because they were offering all these different types of tapsilog, whether it was with actual tapa, whether it was with sisig, whether it was ribs or the actual barbecue, all these different ones. And I just thought I'll just get the traditional, then I'll get the sisig wrap, and I'll get that piece of barbecue. So, but I didn't realize that sisig wrap was not offered. Oh, it was on the menu they gave me, but that's like a generic menu.
Oh, so probably their menu at the restaurant, maybe.
Maybe it was it was. I don't know, because it actually said Filipino street market on it. So maybe they're handing it out at older food truck events, and it would just get altered a little bit, right, on the day. So I just ordered the sisig, and the only sisig they had. And by the way, do we know what sisig? Do our listeners know what sisig is? Should we talk about that?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if we did mention it or not. Maybe we didn't.
Let's break it down before we go further, Jeff. Go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, so sisig basically is traditional sisig is the pork face. So as we mentioned before, Filipinos, third world country, so they use every part of the pig or the cow. And basically, originally, sisig was made from the pig head, and they would take all the skin off, and they would use that and chop it up, brunoise is a cooking term, but not fine dice, but maybe like half-centimeter cubes. And in there, and I'm reading the menu here, they would add some chicken liver just to give it more taste. Calamansi, which is the sort of small citrus, almost like a lime-lemon combination. Onions, chili peppers, and the way they serve it, they would fry it up nice and hot, and when they serve it to you, they would serve it on a sizzling plate or sizzling platter, and then before they serve it to you, they would crack an egg on top and present it to you that way. And there may be some rice on the side, but you mix it in together, and while it's still hot, so that would sort of cook the egg and then coat the sisig with just more of a saucy sort of texture to it. So that's what sisig is. And
so,
And to be honest, I've never had traditional sisig with a pig's head. I've had, I guess, Americanized sisig where they just use, regular pork meat and pork skin, maybe chicken liver and other ingredients just to flavor and bulk it up.
Oh, like have you not had sisig in the Philippines, Jeff?
I don't think I ever had, really.
Oh my!
I'm trying to remember if I had. I know we didn't have it last time we went to the Philippines, or if we did, they didn't say it was like traditional. But you know what? No, I know I didn't have sisig when I was in the Philippines last time.
Wow. Okay, that's the first thing I had. Like I remember.
Oh, nice.
Nancy in LA picked me up and they said, "What do you want to eat?" I said, "I want sisig." And that's like awesome. We went there before we went anywhere else. Like that's the first place we went after the airport.
Oh, nice.
So the sisig, it's pork. You're right. It is pork face because that's where all the skin is, and they just use it up. And it's really popular that people eat that with beer or at the bar. That sort of thing.
Yes.
The saltiness to it.
Yeah, it's a bar food.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Definitely a bar food. And a quick side note is that back during when the Americans had the bases over in the Philippines, there was Subic Bay and then Clark Naval Base. The soldiers would often throw away the pigs' heads, and of course the locals would be very happy to accept them.
Wow.
It sounds kind of weird, but it is a very, very good food. And unless you don't eat pork, I advise you to give it a try because it's super tasty.
It is. Yeah.
So the sisig was an order, but I ordered sisig, and the sisig was ordered with a sisig silog. So sisig with egg and rice. And back to what silog is that remember before, Jeff, I said the silog, I did not know what the C stands for in the silog. There was the itlog was easy because that means the egg.
Egg, yeah.
So the C is actually the fried rice part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, C is short for singangang, and I'm probably not even saying it right. Sinanag. I think that's how you say it. And that means fried rice. So if you go to the Philippines and you want that garlic fried rice that our relatives always make, that's sinanag. Yeah. That's what that is. Okay. So if you add a meat to it, whether it's tocino or tapa, you just kind of put all those syllables together. So tapsilog is tapa, sinanag, and itlog, which is the egg. And so
that's right.
Sisig is the sisig with the eggs and the rice. So I inadvertently ordered that. And then I ordered tapsilog. So I ordered 2 meals.
Jeez.
Right. And then I had a skewer of barbecue, and I thought I was ordering 1 meal and then this little wrap thing for the sisig. So I ordered way too much food, basically is what happened. So that's why I couldn't go to I wanted to go to other food trucks afterwards.
Right.
And then maybe go back to Fugo, but I was like, I saw
you just had so much food.
Like, I just left. I was like, I walked out here. I said, I just got to eat this. I can't order any more food.
Right.
So I will say the sisig there was extremely good. Like it's probably it wasn't obviously sizzling because sometimes sisig is, if it's made ahead of time, they just put kind of like a what do you call those? What do you call those buffet trays, Jeff?
No, hotel pans, chafing dishes.
That's right. Say that again.
Chafing dishes are called.
Okay, that's the word I was looking for. So they put in there, so it's not as crispy. And I wasn't expecting it to be, just because it's a food truck and it's hard to have crispiness. And so I had that on top of the rice with the egg, and it was actually really, really good. I mean, very, very good.
Nice.
They had chopped up some jalapenos in there, and those were rare to find, but they're very surprising to find as well.
Oh, okay.
Because when I would have them, so and they were very small. So I had that with an egg and rice, but I also had the tapa with the egg and rice.
Oh, wow.
The tapa was, I guess it was just okay. The sisig, I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10. The tapa, I'd probably give it like a 6.5.
Okay.
I think if I didn't have a sisig, the tapa would get a higher
rate. Just because of the taste points, like.
Yeah, it was just the contrast and things like that. There's just more contrast with that. And then the barbecue, which is the pork. They had offered the pork, the chicken, and the beef. The pork was very, very good.
Yeah.
I think
pork in general is a good skewery meat because it's a good combination of fat and meat. Whereas chicken and beef are just mostly meats. So you don't have that sort of extra bit of fat for more flavor. That's sort of my opinion on skewers, especially Filipino skewers. I like the pork skewers just with the extra thing of fat that may run through it.
Absolutely. And then, you know how I said I wanted to order the chicharron? I totally forgot. Like once I got thrown off with the price, I was like, I got all this food. I was like, oh, what's all this food? I was like, this is confusing. So I just paid and left. And I was like, and then I was already away from the line. I was like, oh, I forgot the chicharron. And I was like, I can't wait in line again just for that bad. I was like, oh, that's too bad. So I didn't even end up getting it. So I don't know what flavor it was. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was really good. So I don't know what else to say about that.
No, that's all you need to say, really. It's just like, it was just so good. And what I find funny is that if you got like 2 whole meals, like how is the price then? Because sometimes you go to a food truck and you see that your bill and you're like, oh my God, I paid that much. What am I getting? But if you didn't even blink,
were $8.99.
Oh wow, okay.
And so I didn't even get thrown off by the price because sometimes, like as we mentioned before, we paid, at that pop-up 2 weeks ago, we paid like $15 for like poutine.
Yes, that's right.
Onion ring poutine and like $30 for a chicken leg. We didn't pay that, but that was chicken leg. So, to get a whole meal for $8.99, that's like almost cheaper than fast food.
Oh yeah, exactly right.
And so I was like, huh. And so I just got kind of thrown off a little bit by how things kind of turned out. But great question about the price point. It was $8.99 on the
wow.
Yes.
And then was the egg a sunny side up egg?
Yeah. So good question. The egg was sunny side up. It was obviously pre-cooked.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate, but again, it's a food truck. So that was my experience there. But this place is called the Place to Be. Whether you go to the brick and mortar or whether you see them at a food truck somewhere, I'm saying that you gotta stop by there because it was super good. I really enjoyed it. And watch out. I'm sure they weren't trying to trick me when I ordered that, 2 big old meals, but I ended up with a lot more extra food.
Yeah, but for the price, that's amazing. Then that's still good. Yeah.
It was a very good price point. Very good price point. And so Street Eats, they're going to be continuing on with their festivals as we kind of go along here. This next weekend, not sure if we're going to make it. We may. I might. Jeff's going to be on a road trip. But
I'll be on a road trip, and hopefully we'll talk about that. So today is August 26th. So next weekend, this coming weekend, is the Barbecue Eats Festival, August 29th and 30th. And the weekend after that is Labor Day weekend. September 5th and 6th is the Eats Night Market. And again, that's from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I believe we're hoping to do that one, like we said in our past podcast. Hopefully it's more an Asian flair, like most night markets. And then after that, September 12th, 13th, Mac and Cheese Festival. September 19th to 20th, Fried Chicken Festival. And then the other one we have earmarked in our calendars, September 26th and 27th is the Ramen Festival.
That one's a curious one because ramen and food truck, it's not something that I expect. So I'm excited to see how that one is going to turn out.
Exactly right. And hope they have good flavored ramen, not just some, I won't say anything now, but fingers crossed for the Ramen Festival.
And not only that, like for all the festivals, we hope for really good weather and just safe and, that there's no weird events that happen, no violence, not that we expect that, but you never know. So
exactly right.
Let's pray for a successful event because I'm having a lot of fun at these little festivals, these Street Eats markets, the way they're doing.
And it's so close to you. And again, since the Scarborough Town Center, so 401 in Brimley or 401 in McCowan. So if you're in the area on the weekends, pop on by.
Absolutely. And so that's this week's food worth mentioning. And we can't wait till next time where we talk about more food worth mentioning. Right, Jeff?
That's right. And then until next time, remember this quote from Julia Child: people who love to eat are always the best people.
And that includes my brother, Chef Jeff. And of course, I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and you as well, if you love to eat food worth mentioning. Thank you, everyone.
All right, take care.
You've been listening to Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.